Do you like basketball? Basketball, no. Mm-hmm. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast recorded no fuzz, zero fuzz involved, except for that one episode last week. That was pretty. It was pretty fuzzy.
April Fool's
hey,
episode.
Come on. I'm your host Jack, aka Jokic Joestar. With me, as always, the world famous Pablo Escobar. Pablo, how are you doing today?
I heard you crack up. Oh, I was hoping I'd see a PZ, Pepsi Zero, but no.
PZ?
Looks like a canned coffee.
La Colombe draft latte, triple shot cold brew with milk. That's good stuff. They got some good coffee. I don't know is efficacy a word?
I think so.
I know.
Yeah.
I know efficacy, like if it's effective or not, but
efficacy.
Efficacy, if it's ethical or not. Is that a word?
I don't know.
Yeah, but like
I think
whether or not something is ethical, the efficacy of it. Okay, whatever.
You do know where that brand gets their coffee, right?
Where?
They're Milk and Dragons. Yeah.
Oh, why do you say that?
That was on the news. I saw it. They're milking them.
I don't have a problem with dragon milk. And so do the dragons naturally create coffee, or is that just the milk that goes in? Is the coffee normal and the milk is dragon milk?
You're right. Yeah, am I a farmer?
Hey, your guess is as good as mine, man. Okay. Hey, whatever. Let's ease into this. I don't want to break the topic right away. What's been going on in your life? Do you really feel like we have a golden lobbyist request here. BLT Sammy says, Pablo Escobar, just need to vent about Pablo's atrocious solo leveling over Princess Mononoke take. Need Pablo to know that I respect his basketball opinion less. Because of this, the only explanation is that Pablo, you, are anti-art.
Well, solo leveling is not made by AI.
Neither is... I was joking.
I don't like Princess Mononoke that much.
That's terrible.
It's one of the driest ones for me. I love Studio Ghibli. I just don't like that one.
That's crazy. I didn't... the first time I watched it, I was like I think I fell asleep in the middle of it. But this time, going IMAX and being like locked in the whole time, that was the way to go. It was really sick. It's not my favorite. Spirited Away, I still feel like that's where he's definitely like at his strongest. Mm-hmm. When like Princess Mononoke, I get it because like clearly he's upset by things that upset you and me. Like the planet is dying and we're all, like humanity probably deserves to like go extinct. That would be the morally correct thing to have happen, but there's no whimsy at all in Mononoke. We're serious the whole fucking time. Whereas Spirited Away, nice balance between whimsy and some more serious tones, I guess.
Yeah, but well, for some people, he makes you feel bad because if there was a table full of food and I have fun eating it because no one else is eating it, then I turn into a pig.
I do feel like that's a big American gap. Is that like any American?
He should have changed that scene for Americans. It's unrelatable.
Yeah,
it's actually hostile.
Yeah. The greedy thing would be saying no to the food in America.
Yeah.
If you pass the table up, you're being impolite. Is really what it is.
Yeah, he's racist for that.
Yeah, because like they're doing test audiences in America, and some guy from Georgia is just like, "Oh, okay. If I eat ribs, I become a fucking slave now." Wow. Thanks, Miyazaki.
Yeah. The more I get older, the more I think about Howl's Moving Castle, and I'm like, oh, that door would be so sick. Just have like 4 different places you could live, and the door changes.
The door would be so sick. I love Howl's Moving. I was seeing...
That's my number one.
Some people, they don't like it. That's a based opinion. That it's your favorite. Romantically, me and my girlfriend love it, and so like.
Bro thinks he's Howl.
I
Puts
literally
himself in the
am.
shoes of Howell.
Oh, bro. Oh, you could be Calcifer if you want. You could sit in my fireplace and entertain
we've done
me.
this before. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis's house. I'm eating it up.
I don't think that was connect. That was just because Jamie Lee Curtis was being a bitch in the news, and you were like her Calcifer out of left field burned her house down. But yes, yeah. I am Hal Pendragon straight up, but I wouldn't like. Although he is based, he's based in the sense that like he's like I don't want to fight in the war because I'm scared. I'm not about that life. But then he goes and fights, so he's really not. Me personally, that's my object. Like,
Fighting imperialists.
yeah, I know. Well, I'm saying I can't be Howl because I'm a weenie. I'm just not built for warfare. If somebody pointed like a weapon at me, I'd be like, yo.
We'd have
cool.
to end the podcast if you turned into like the feathery dark monster. I'd say, I'm uncomfortable now knowing this is over.
Racist against monsters?
Racist. I told you I hate when people are mermaids, when they transform into mermaids and get scales. Yeah. I hate when people.
Oh, that's terrible.
I was just thinking about this yesterday. You know X-Men, the guy who grows the angel wings?
Oh, yeah. That's a nasty
so
scene.
Gross. I'd cut off a friend if they grew angel wings. And even when they get fully grown out, it's just such a spectacle. I wouldn't want to hang out anywhere with them because people would just be looking and they'd be coming up and asking them about angel wings.
I've never seen the Apocalypse movie, X-Men Apocalypse or whatever, where Oscar Isaac's blue. But there's a scene in that movie where that guy, the angel guy, he gets metal wings. Like the Apocalypse, I guess he's like a god type being. He could just change shit, and he points at the angel, and like it's this really grotesque scene of like his normal natural feather wings, which have been like burned or something. He can't fly anymore, being replaced with these crazy like metal sword knife blade wings that he can also fly with, but it's all like crunchy and slicey and slippery and gross while it's happening. So yeah, that you probably wouldn't like that movie for that scene.
I think I might have seen it back in the day, but yeah, thank God I don't remember that. I'm anti-angel. I hate angels.
Oh, I don't have strong feelings about angels.
Yeah,
I guess
I hate the movie Brave. I just don't like when people turn into animals.
Oh, that's kind of an L take. You don't like Brother Bear?
I saw that in theaters when I was a kid, but I don't want to rewatch it because I remember it was like really sad.
I remember that too. Yeah, I remember being like, damn. I'd be scared to take care of my little brother if we both got turned into bears. I can't do this shit.
And I'd be so upset being a bear. Like I
just have to eat fish now? Come on.
Yeah, and it's so cold out there.
Well, they're probably super warm because they have all that fat and hair.
Oh, but it's so hot. It'll be too hot in the summer.
I don't know. The life of a bear, if I could lower my intelligence to bear level, doesn't seem that bad. You just walk around the woods eating berries and stuff, and you
gotta fight. You gotta do a lot of fighting.
You don't have to do that much fighting. Bears don't have like that many natural enemies. Like if you run up on a moose or something,
do you have to fight other bears?
I mean probably at points, but like I think most of it is just like staying out of the way, which I'm good at as a human. So as a bear, I think I'd still be good at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm anti-bear. I like human. I like being human.
What's your favorite animal? Like not to turn into, but just like that you think is cool.
Dragonfly. I wouldn't want to be a dragonfly.
Oh yeah, this is we've talked about this before. You have such a bad criteria for good animal, where it's like the success of the kill rate and everything.
Well, it's just everything about the dragonfly is cool. To
like a sixth grader, yeah, sure.
No, it's the most agile creature in the world.
Okay.
They're studied for their agility, and they try and incorporate it into helicopters.
Oh, cool! Wow.
They have the best change of direction of anything in the animal kingdom. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The predator success rate is insane. They're the dragons of the bug kingdom. They have 360-degree vision, and they can like shoot water out of their butt and get a little
Yeah.
boost. And they're good guys to us because they eat all the mosquitoes and everything, but they don't hurt us. But if they were bigger, we'd be in trouble.
Yeah, I don't know. The way you're describing, like if someone was like really good at their career, and you were like, this guy's life is so cool because his job is so cool or whatever. That's the vibe I'm getting. Whereas like a bear, like his life is cool because he's happy. He's found like, you know, enjoyment in the day-to-day activity of things. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm thinking like a dragonfly is like a real life Pokemon, and I'm like, that's sick. You're like
all animals are like a real life Pokemon.
You're like, that bear's literally me if I was a bear.
Yes, but also,
I saw the beginning of Paddington, and he was causing so much trouble I had to turn it off. I'll go back one day.
You should watch Paddington too. It's really good.
He flooded the bathroom. I was like, this is so much.
You have to turn it off.
I can't believe the trouble he's causing right now as a guest.
That's so stupid. I can't believe that this guy's terrible. Oh my god.
And they make you think that the husband is being like, he's so crazy for getting one night bear insurance. But then this is what happens. So yeah, he
smart. He was smart for sure. All right, I want to turn my gain down and see if the buzz comes back. Is it back?
Very, very little.
Okay, I'll leave it up then. We can deal with me being too loud, I guess. I'm just scared about me like peaking or stuff, but whatever.
Well, you know about normalized volume on CapCut.
Yeah, but it's for Pro only. I don't have a CapCut Pro membership.
I got Pro because you also need Pro for captions.
Can I sign in to your account?
Yeah. Well, actually, I have to.
You could write it off.
I have to. What's it called? I accidentally signed up twice, so I got to cancel one of them. I got to figure out what I'm logged into.
All right. Okay. It's a Wednesday episode. 12-minute intro is not too bad. Let me timestamp this hell. You want to tell the people what we're doing today?
Actually, so we're doing a top 20 player rankings pre-playoffs to see where we stand. Is this including guys who didn't make the playoffs? Or who aren't gonna?
Yeah, sure. Like, I have guys on my list who are definitely at risk of missing the playoffs.
Okay.
But, yeah, so top 20 player ranking, very vibes-based to me. I've always been terrible at ranking people.
I won't die in a single one of these.
Yeah,
things.
no. Like, if you told me my number 12 guy is actually top 5, I'd be like, he's really good, man. That's not insane, I guess. Yeah, but so top 20, I have some honorable mentions and some health exemptions as well. I was a baby about the health stuff, because so like that's where you do have to kind of make some hard decisions, and instead I was just like, I'm not making those decisions.
Mine is just the best guy if he's there.
Oh, okay. So you definitely have some guys mixed in, because okay, so right off the bat, Zion Williamson, health exemption for me.
Yeah.
Healthy Zion, that's like I'm curious to see where you have
I got him
him.
ranked.
That's probably like a top 15 guy, I would say. And so yeah, like I don't have him there, but when he's healthy, like if we get 60 games out of him next year, oh my god, the Pelicans will be so good, dude.
You know he's in shape now.
Yeah, he's in shape.
He tries harder on defense.
And he has a goatee, I'm pretty sure.
And he has a cursed seal mark tattoo.
Cursed technique? Oh wait, he's got the
Naruto.
The nine-tailed men in his stomach or something.
It's a fox. Nine-tailed fox.
Yeah. Okay. How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this? Do you want to
start at the top?
You want to start with
and
one?
Descend. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it gets more. It's more interesting at the bottom.
All right. Jokic at 1.
No. Yeah. No. I do.
It's the worst day of my life.
I think he's the best guy. Even though he's not having. Even though I think Shea's having the better season, I think he's the best guy.
That's kind of a hot take, but whatever. I think Shea's the MVP.
Didn't we talk about this with Cone?
I think Shea's the MVP. Jokic's season it's crazy when you look at it. When you take a step back,
It
though,
is,
and
yeah.
you're like, what is it? He's literally top 2 in everything that nobody's ever been top 10 for. Where it's like points, no one's ever been top 10 in points, rebounds, assists, and steals all at the same time, and he's like top 2, top 3 in
He's
all
top 10 in
those.
steals?
Yeah, he's literally second in the league in steals. I'm pretty. Let me double check this. That's what they
What
were
the?
glazing on ESPN last night in between the fucking
Oh, the
chokes,
mainstream
the
media?
choke sesh. I'm so fucking upset about that game last night, dude. Let me see. Steals. Yeah, he's second in the league at 1.8. He's tied with Kaysen Wallace. Shout out to Kaysen. Yeah, and then Dyson Daniels 3.1, obviously. So yeah, he's second in steals, second in assists, third in rebounds, third in points per game at 29.7. So he's averaging 29, 13, 10, and 2 steals on 57% from the field, 42% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. And then obviously he just had the most points ever in a triple-double last night as the idiot loser Denver Nuggets squandered another fourth quarter lead to the Giga Chad, super handsome, not misogynistic at all, Minnesota Timberwolves.
Frauds.
Hey, maybe one of the Nuggets should what? Sleep with Anthony Edwards, and then he wouldn't want to see him anymore. I don't know. There's got to be something.
Oh,
There's got to
okay.
be something there, but I don't. The pieces are in front of me. I can't put it all together. So, Jokic at 1, Shea at 2.
Shea at 2.
Shea at 2. Maybe I'll just timestamp this like the top 5 or whatever, because I feel like the 5 is pretty solid. Shea at 2. We literally did give him a whole video with Cone. Do you have any glazing that you want to do on him?
All I got to say is this is the first time I have ever had him above. I've ever considered him to be better than Luka and to be better than Giannis. So that's crazy.
This season or like really
just
recently?
ever. Just ever. Well, this season I consider him because he's just been so unbelievable. Yeah. And it's very hard because those two guys, Giannis is essentially like he's just huge on defense, and so he's a defensive player of the year candidate. He could play like center and stuff while being crazy on offense. And then Luka is one of the best passers ever. Usually, if you're not like an elite passer or you're not an elite defender, I'm like, oof.
Mm-hmm.
But he's.
I saw a good tweet about that where it was like, oh, Shea doesn't play make. Shea doesn't do this. Yeah, he forces the whole team to play zone defense the entire game. And I was like, yeah, that is like a pretty good encapsulation of like the playmaking stuff with him, where it's like, yeah, 5 or 6 assists per game, and none of them, or not that many. You see one every once in a while that's like, oh, that was a good pass. But yeah, the playmaking is definitely like a gravity type thing. And it's also just weird because the last time you really saw it to this extent, I feel like it was probably Steph. Like maybe peak Giannis when he was winning MVPs, the gravity playmaking aspect of it was really strong there as well. But with Steph, I feel like a lot of people also looked at Draymond Green and Draymond's assists, and they would be like, okay, well, like 40% of those they go to Steph, kind of like subliminally. He's responsible for everybody being able to do that. And with the Thunder, it's like there is no Draymond being the go-to guy to capitalize on the gravity. It's just much more of like a collective team effort. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like everybody's glazing Shea pretty hard for the most part. Obviously, there are some pretty vocal camps against him as a flopping crybaby, whatever, but generally speaking, I would say this has been one of the smoother rises to, top 2 in the world level talent.
Yeah.
Okay. Giannis at 3?
Giannis at 3.
Giannis at 3. He's in an embargo right now. It's kind of sad.
Oh, an embargo.
Mwakgo, something like that. Milwaukee go. Yeah. Probably the biggest victim of around the league stat inflation over the last several years, would you say? Where it's just been like 30, 12, and 6 ain't what it once was. And so, like, a lot of people are just, for him to be like a distant third in the MVP conversation this year, I don't think it's wrong necessarily. It is just like surprising when you go look at his numbers.
I think he's more so a vibes victim. Like the vibes for the Bucks, like ever since last year, have just been rancid pretty much the entire time. Even when they started turning it around this year, it's still just a little off, even though they won the in-season tournament. So I don't know what it is, but it's just off.
Yeah. It's similar to, no, it's to a much larger degree, but I think, if my memory serves correct, when the Sixers traded for James Harden, and that was when we were in the middle of one of like the real Jokic Embiid like battles all the way up to the end of the season. Like, we didn't really know who was MVP. I swear, when the Sixers traded for Harden, they had a pretty underwhelming record for the last like 4 or 5 weeks of the season, when you imagined maybe the best player on the planet in Embiid adding like an all-star, all-NBA level guard in James Harden. Their record wasn't that great, and I feel like that took a hit on his argument a little bit. And maybe I'm completely misremembering that, but that's also how I feel about the Dame situation not working out, where it's like, regardless of what the actual cause and effect of that is, or how much of it is Dame's fault, through the lens of MVP voting, the fact that Giannis and Dame haven't really gelled, like, it has definitely affected Giannis in the eyes of a lot of voters, I think.
It does make me think a little bit less of him as a player, just because I found out he's not that scalable. Like, he doesn't fit that well with other really high level talent.
Yeah, it's tough. You get a new contextualization for everything, where it's like, hey, Chris Middleton, you could put him a lot of places. It looks like he's pretty good, or he used to be. Health and stuff has kind of taken its toll, but when he plays, he's still pretty solid, better than who they got back at least. Yeah, we have one. I put out lobbyist requests for these. We didn't have one for Jokic or Shea. I just copied and pasted the ones that were there for specific players, and so Giannis is the first one we have one for. Fadl Idris, I can't remember how to say his name. I'm sorry, Mr. Idris. Hey, Dread and Putter. What the fuck?
Idris Elball. That's what we'll call him.
Okay, Idris Elball. All right. Hey, Dread and Putter. Loyal Creamer here. Parentheses, are you happy?
Okay, gross message.
Are you happy now that I said that I didn't say fellow Creamer? Friggin' English executive here. I guess we got mad at him for it last time.
He was probably creaming and saying, "We're all creaming, aren't we?"
Like, I'm not creaming. This beautiful Turkish man is still averaging 6 assists per game, despite his supporting cast featuring a woman beater, a terrorist, and Bobby Portis. Could this help his case in the rankings? I know that with how high he is, any differences are marginal. I really don't think... My opinion of Giannis has not shifted with the addition of Kevin Porter Jr. and Kuzma. Like, this is much more based on the entire sample that we have since Dame has arrived in Milwaukee. I'm not looking at him being unable to lift Kyle Kuzma out of the mud into like good player territory and being like, oh, he can't do that. Giannis is not my GOAT. I wouldn't expect, like, I don't think Shea would really be capable of that either. Jokic might, but, like, he's maybe the best offensive player ever. And so, yeah. I mean, do you criticize him for the supporting cast?
Well, in terms of what? What did he say again? I got thrown off when he said Turkish. I was like, Şengün question?
No. I think he's saying that Greece is not...
I realized.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I think what he's asking is, Giannis is still averaging 6 assists per game, despite his supporting cast being ass. Kevin Porter Jr., Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis. Could this help his case in the rankings? The fact that he's still averaging all these assists. For me, I didn't like. That's not what was even remotely the deciding factor.
I think it's still clear the impact he has on offenses, or on defenses, and that's how he creates. And the assists are down because one, he's Dame has the ball a lot now too.
Mm-hmm.
Two, he is doing little more of the mid range ISO stuff.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
doesn't really open up passes as much.
Yeah. Okay. So 4, the door is open for disagreements. I think I went Luka.
I went Luka. 5
Okay.
is where I think we'll go off the rails.
Oh, you got some bullshit tucked away at 5. I can feel it. Hey, he doesn't respect the anomaly, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Oh yeah.
So Luka. Where to even start with this fatty?
Yeah.
This, I don't know. Would you say Luka at 4 is one of the more insulated placements in terms of like his recent basketball, not his strongest showing, but I don't care. I'm not treating it as canon. What do you think?
It's just I know that this is a guy who eviscerates playoff defenses every single year. Like no matter what, he's just one of these guys. Like shooters and defense around him, you win. It's that simple. And he's the only reason he's not higher is because the other guys are playing defense, and he's not at like Jokic level on like indomitable numbers. So
yeah, let me see what he's been last like 15 games with the Lakers. Okay. Last 15 games, he has 30 points, 8 assists, 8 rebounds on 43% from the field, 40% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line. He's shooting 40% from 3 on 10 3-pointers a game. So
what's the free throws?
He's getting 9.8 free throws a game.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so this I would assume the true shooting percentage is respectable, even though 43% from the field, pretty mid. His paint scoring has kind of been the talk of the town post Lakers trade. He has not like finished around the rim the way you have come to expect for a guy like that. And so, yeah, I mean, if we circle back, by the end of the playoffs, I don't think it will be I don't think we'll be kicking ourselves, because I do think he's not at like his apex form, and I don't think he'll really be like hit that in the postseason. Maybe he does, maybe I'm wrong. But if like we circle back next year and it's like, oh, he's clearly number 2 again now, it wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, and sometimes it just feels hard to like watch him in the playoffs, just like tearing everybody up, and then watch Giannis and be like, well, it's kind of ugly right now. But
yes,
it's still working, but it's ugly.
Yeah. No, like for me, I would say the past year and a half with Giannis, it has exposed just how brutal his offense is sometimes. And that's not as like a full negative thing, because he drags half the defenders directly underneath the basket every time. But the rest of these guys, when we talk about Jokic or we talk about Shea or we talk about Luka, it's automatic. You are getting a really good shot for your team every trip down the floor. And with Giannis, that's not always the case. There's a lot more room for you to wind up with like a really fucked up Gary Trent bailout heave or something when you're working with Giannis, or at least there has been over the past couple of years.
All right, 5.
Okay. Shit. Who do you have? I already teased mine, so I just want to see.
I have LeBron.
Oh, okay. I really don't have that much smoke with that. I think
I really just feel like all the old guys, I'm still, for a playoff series like right now, I still trust them. They're still all playing at such a high level. Like even it took one teammate to get Steph back on track.
Yeah. So I went Tatum at 5. Just because for me, this is not just like, I think your criteria where you're like, hey, the best guy, if he's there, that lends itself, it does weigh the playoffs more heavily, inherently. And I don't think the playoffs shouldn't be worth more, but I also think that Tatum is kind of this like bedrock foundation extremely high level play for 82 games, and then I think over the course of a playoff series, he will be comparable to those guys, even if they outclass him, which is definitely possible. I wouldn't like really put a ton of money on him outplaying any of the older guys head to head in a 7-game series, but I think he would be close. And I think the regular season, it does matter to me. And so, yeah, that's why I have him at 5. And it's not like he's a bad playoff performer either. And if his jump shot...
he's very up and down.
Yes, yeah, that's probably the thing you could be the most critical of him for, is like the floors of his game. It's really tough. And his defense is so good that you still get like some silver lining when it's an off night, but at the same time, I do understand the art. So yeah, make your LeBron case. Yap a little bit.
LeBron, greatest basketball mind ever, maybe. I watched episode 1 of Mind the Game. The first part of it was just, I was like, get on with it, because it was more just like a regular podcast discussion where it's like, what motivates you at this point? And he's like, this is what motivates me. I'm like, yeah. Tell me about playing with Luka and the on-ball responsibility share. Yeah, he's all-time great mind, all-time great passer. Like Tatum has taken strides, but he's not an elite passer. LeBron is the elite passer. He's still like just unbelievable slasher. His jumper is great now. He's shooting well from the mid-range. I'm sure I haven't pulled up the percentages. And then obviously Tatum is more reliable on defense these days. But even like over the course of a playoff series where they had the chance to be competitive, I still think LeBron is a plus defender. And so I just if I had to pick one of those guys to be my guy, and like just like if I'm the Celtics and it was like win a championship this year and we don't full Nico Harrison, I might be dead next year. Let's go this year.
Well, okay, if I have the rest of the Celtics and I can afford for LeBron to fucking coast 40 games, that would be sick. I just don't know if well,
what situation would you rather have Tatum than LeBron?
A worse team where I needed somebody to just like go out and play
in the playoffs too, or they're only in the regular season?
In the playoffs,
like who's going to be like the 8th, like Orlando? Who?
If I could go Tatum or LeBron going against the problem is like
on the team, on like an 8th seed team, or who's going to be at the bottom of the West?
Bottom of the West, I mean, it's like a 4-way race, and it's going to be a pretty solid team.
Like
it'll be like the maybe the Warriors. I really don't know.
Let's say Portland made it, and let's say Portland with Tatum or Portland with LeBron.
I'm gonna go Tatum here just because, like, it's not. I mean. So are you like seeded? Are you giving up the concession that like you're probably not winning a championship either way? So you just want because I feel like LeBron is absolutely breaking down over the course of those 16 games. If you're asking him to carry that large of a load at this point in his career, whereas Tatum probably not, even though the likelihood that I get like the 4 for 17 game or whatever that he's been prone to over the course of the playoffs, it's higher than it is with LeBron.
Well, I don't know. I feel like LeBron has had a higher load the past few years than Tatum, because Tatum plays on such a stacked team, and LeBron has been like the engine. I mean,
my question isn't like, is Tatum actively doing that? It's does he have the capacity to? Which I think is more the case.
Yeah, I trust LeBron turning up the volume more, because I think over 82 games, I think then you give Tatum, then that's where you'd go Tatum, because of the durability and everything, and LeBron has to pick and choose his spots more now. Mm-hmm. But if over the course of playoffs, like when it comes to serious, and I do think like, if they were outmatched, LeBron would just kind of give up. But
I'm curious where Jimmy Butler ends up for you then.
He's in here.
Yeah, I know he's in the mix for you. I'm just curious Cause applying my shit, where like I'm like, hey, to me the regular season it matters a fair amount, and it's easy to like we're in fucking mid-April now, and it's like, oh hey, playoffs right around the corner. Who do you want? But like I don't know, that's just not the angle I approached it with. But so at 6 I do have LeBron, and we have a lobbyist request for both of these guys. So for Tatum, Choi Burger says, what does Tatum have to do to win MVP? Do the Celtics have to get worse for him to prove how good he is? Do you think this will ever happen? Or does Wemby or Shea make this impossible? I don't think it's impossible. I just think I think if he played the way he played for like the first month and a half this season, he would like really seriously be in the running, because Shea is showing you right now, actively right now, you are witnessing the fact that you can win 64 games and the MVP award. And all you have to do for that to happen is have that caliber of season, the kind of season that Shea is having right now. I don't think Tatum's ever had that level of regular season, really close to that level of regular season. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think, Celtics get worse, or like the Celtics get less healthy, they have a talent downgrade or whatever, and they don't take as big of a slip as expected because Tatum has a really good regular season. That's one path forward. Or B, yeah, you do see him become, he's like 32 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists on really good efficiency while being like an all-NBA level defender. I think those are the paths forward. But, I mean, Wemby, it will be difficult.
Yeah, I just really don't think he's good enough to do it. But if he did do it, it would probably come when the Celtics, everything finally catches up, and then the roster is depleted, and then they like maintained their status as one
like
of the top teams.
If we're looking
like, he's
around
better than we thought.
in October, and it's like, Celtics are finally done. Wow, this is sick. And then, yeah, if he defies those expectations, then yeah. I mean, I could see it, but I really wouldn't put money on it. And then the LeBron one, Rui Hachimura says, or Rui Hachimura Burner, my fault. Not the player isn't in our Patreon.
It's not him, guys. Find a new slant.
Sorry. Do you guys think LeBron deserves All-NBA first team this year? Do you predict him to make it? His main competition has been Brunson, Mitchell, and Cat. But I think LeBron has been individually better than all three of them, especially when we factor in defense. He's really the only plus defender of the three, and his playmaking is still top tier. Thanks. I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't think he'll get it. But, like, I think he's had that level of season individually. It's just, especially the All-NBA teams, kind of skew team success.
Yeah, I think he's better than all those guys, but I think Brunson or Mitchell would get it, and I wouldn't be upset about it.
Yeah. Okay. So I have LeBron at 6. You had, who do you have it? So you had LeBron at 5. Who do you have at 6?
At 6, I have Steph.
Okay. All right. Make the case.
I think he's still mostly Steph, and just when you get the baseline level of talent around him, you got another star. Now he's cooking. He's really cooking. I think he's one of the most mind-warping offensive players of all time. And just him being out there, we know it's a 10-year track record of insane offense. And, I'd feel good about having him.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really torn on this. I went Kevin Durant at 6. Just because God damn it. I feel like Kevin Durant in Phoenix right now, like, we are looking at him through the lens of like what we would have been looking at with Steph if we checked in like November or whatever. Even though Booker, much better player than anyone that was on the Warriors at that point. I think just from a role player, like supporting cast perspective, the Suns they're a lot more desolate than the Warriors have been at any point over the past couple of seasons. And so I still like Kevin Durant as a defender and the kind of like offensive force that Steph is. I think he's still in like the Steph tier. He just doesn't bend floors the way that Steph does. Yeah, I mean, I went Kevin Durant because I like the defense that he provides more while being that level of offensive player. But this was really tough. Honestly, LeBron, Steph, and KD all still being it was very hard for me.
Yeah, I have KD next, and they're interchangeable to me. They've kind of always been.
Yeah, and I do feel like this. So like for me, Jokic, Shea, Giannis, tier gap. Everybody, what are we at now? Luka, Tatum, LeBron, KD, Steph.
I would have Luka in the top one, and then a separation.
I'm waiting for it to come back, and then I'll put him back. The second it's back, it's in there. But like, yeah, come on. I'm not mad at that though, because really the last canon Luka basketball he was like, are you decimating? Is this the best defense of all time in Minnesota? And then the second they see him on one leg, it's just like, oh, we have no chance.
Nikhil Alexander Walker skinny.
God, Jane McDaniels, you need to eat a sandwich, dude. Come on. Oh my God. Yeah. So at 9. Oh wait. Did I skip
at 8?
Oh, at 8. Well, I have Steph at 8. So for me, it goes
Okay.
LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph. So I'll lump Steph and KD together. So
This is where people will get upset with me.
who do you have here?
Who do you think I have?
So is this your 8th or your 9th?
This is my 8.
This has got to be Victor Wembanyama.
It is Wemby.
Nice.
He's so good.
He's so good.
He's like if Rudy Gobert could put up volume offense. It's awesome.
He is.
But he's better than Rudy.
He is. He's better. I mean, Wemby. The thing is, like they get crossed over the same, where it's like an all-star guard will like take him out onto an island and just they'll put in work or whatever. They will move faster than a 7-footer can. Wemby doesn't look as stupid. He recovers so much faster.
He's so nimble.
Yeah.
The only reason he's not above the old guys for me is just because we haven't seen any playoffs. So there's a chance he could get there and be like inexperienced and thrown off. But still, I just trust the like he could, if he just had the right talent around him, he could average like 30 points a game on 100% shooting off lobs while shutting everything down on the other end.
And even if you came and you were like, okay, playoffs, it's not what you wanted. It's like 18. He averages 18, 9, and 5 with a couple turnovers, and the efficiency
like
really isn't great.
He shoots too many threes and they don't go in.
Yeah. I would still be like, he probably doesn't fall that many spots down my list.
Yeah.
Just because I would wager the other team is scoring like 97 points per game or something. And so, yeah, I have him one spot lower. Brendan says, how high is too high for Wemby? I know blood clots can be scary, but I think an optimistic outlook for Wemby could still have him as the 3rd or 4th best player in the league. He was for a stretch.
I think
there.
you could definitely argue over Luka if you wanted to, just by the major defensive gap. Is there any world where you're hearing someone out for him over Giannis in a playoff series today to start your team with?
I mean, if I'm hearing him out, I'm not entertaining the Luka discussion right now.
Oh, really?
Just because we have so consistently seen offense be way more important than defense from an individual perspective, where it's like, hey, it's dope that Giannis is so much better than Luka, or Shea is so much better than Luka defensively, but they also have an extremely reliable offensive skill set that they can fall back on. And I think we were seeing that with Wemby before he got hurt, where it's like, hey, 37% from 3. He's already incredibly difficult to stop, much less the nights where he's shooting like 50% or something. But personally, I would set like hard, firm line at Luka for me right now. Circle back next year, nothing is off. Nothing's off the table.
Circle back November.
Like if he took the same leaps that he took, like if we just did all of that again, and instead of him being 24 points, he's 27 points per game next year or something, which I don't think is impossible at all. Yeah, it would be crazy. And so I think his first playoff series, that might be like one of the most consequential, people are paying an insane amount of attention to it, things that's happened in a long time.
Yeah, and if he gets bullied by Zubats, it's all over.
It's all, we just get, Rainbow Trout just commented, Ivica Zubac's a top 5 center in the game, in my opinion. Shut up. Shout out to Zubats, though. So at 9, I have Anthony Davis.
At 9, who do I have?
You had Wemby, right? Or you had Wemby at 8?
Wemby's at 8. And
Okay.
9, I have Anthony Edwards.
Okay. Let's go Davis first, just because you cooked for a while, so I'll take the lead here. Anthony Davis, probably, the most forgotten about player right now, would you say? Like, just the most in the background, high-level guy?
Yeah, because he feels worse because he was traded for Luka and then he got hurt.
Yeah. I still have faith that Anthony Davis could be the best player in a playoff series. Like, there's a realistic path for that to happen in a matchup with most of these guys. Like, if you told me Anthony Davis and Steph, oh shit, we lagged. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lagged for a sec. We're back now, yeah.
We're back. We're talking fast. If you told me Anthony Davis goes into a playoff series with, like, Steph, and AD ends up being the best player, it would surprise me, but I think it's definitely possible. And I think he is like a level of really established postseason production. Like, we know he could play at a very high level there while also being... I mean, the fragile shit, it circled back. Like, the Data Davis stuff is really tough with how he has, like, played in Dallas. But the last couple of seasons, he's been like a 70 games guy. Like, he's been durable for the most part, and so when you're getting that version of him, yeah, I'm comfortable putting him here. I assume he's in your top 20 somewhere?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think AD can be the 1A on a playoff team that makes the second round? Colt says that.
That makes the second round? It would depend on who they were playing. Like, he could beat like a... Well, yeah, like if an AD-led team could beat like the Rockets or something, you know?
Yeah.
Or I don't know who's at the bottom.
He could beat the way that the Grizzlies have played lately. It's possible if he's not trying to do like a complete carry job, and it's just like him and a talented supporting cast versus the Grizzlies or the Rockets. It's possible. I could see it. Like, yeah.
And I think in a regular NBA, that the current Mavericks team, like fully healthy, where he has Kyrie and all those pieces and like Clay, theoretically, like I could see them being like a contending-ish team. But yeah, only in a regular NBA.
Yeah, and I do really think him at the 4, for all like the memes about it, I don't want to play center or whatever. When your team is that big, it is crazy. Like, him off of Lively or Gafford, for whatever spacing concerns people want to bring up, scoring on, like, if you thought Gobert and Cat was difficult, it's going to be nasty when it's fucking AD and Lively for the 15 games that we get out of them.
Nico should take one for the team and trade, and to spite the city of Dallas more, trade AD to San Antonio for nothing. Just so I can see it.
That'd be cool. David Robinson, Tim Duncan vibes.
But better.
Okay, so at 9, I had AD. At 10, Victor. At 11, one Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Do you want to make the case? I mean, he makes me want to die. I can't think about this motherfucker anymore.
So, last year, the hype got out of control. It was like, this is literally Michael Jordan if he had Steph Curry's jump shot. And then we spent the entire time saying, and he went up and he went down a little bit as the playoffs went down, as the jumper went down. Mm-hmm. But we spent like the whole offseason saying, hey, if he's shooting like Steph Curry, I don't know what you do with him. And now he has now spent an entire season shooting like Steph Curry. And I
don't know what you do with him.
I don't know what you do with him. It has been a tiny bit disappointing because it feels like he should be better now that he's shooting like Steph Curry. Mm-hmm. There's still some playmaking leaps that need to happen, but also like the team context might be limiting him, and probably just the nature of like it's pretty much all on ball shooting or like stagnant shooting.
Yeah.
But still, it's just a guy a guy who shoots 10 threes a game at 40%, who, if you, okay, let me step up to guard his three. Okay, he's by me and he's dunking.
There was a moment last night where I literally looked away from the screen for a second. Like, I just turned my head because I was like, damn, Christian Brown on an island. He's not quick enough to guard Anthony Edwards. I don't like how this is going. I looked away, and then I looked back, and it was like a layup. He was at the cup already, and it was like, oh, well, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Yeah, I don't know.
And when he tries, he plays really good on-ball defense.
I know. And that's... It's not frustrating. It is frustrating, but it's not like a huge detractor. Because I would say most of the time, plus defender still.
Yeah.
There's rare moments where he's like just like a straight up negative player, but
he could also be like Lou Dort when he wants to.
Yeah. And that's what's especially crazy about that is like a lot of times to be that level, you have to like build up the reputation of being a defender of that caliber. And then you can be, like, handsy with a guy, which, like, I think Dort does. I think Derek White does. When you just, like, Caruso to a certain extent. When you have the reputation of, like, I'm an all-NBA defensive first-team guy, whenever there's a 50-50 moment, the refs just kind of give it to you. That's been a theme with Draymond for a decade at this point. But Anthony Edwards... not necessarily built up that reputation, but whenever he like smacks the floor and he's like, all right, Tatum, I'm mad because I missed a shot or whatever. You're not scoring this time. I do feel like he gets away with shit like that. And that's not a negative. Like really, when you're ranking players, it is a positive thing. It's just something that I've noticed.
And he's got crazy charisma.
Yes.
The anti-Tatum.
Last 27 games, he has been... 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 36% from 3 on 11 attempts a game, while shooting 44% from the field and 85% from the free throw line. He's getting to the free throw line 8 times a game. Oh, yeah. God. I think the playmaking stuff, the way you talk about teams in a normal NBA, this team would be good or that team would be good. The way the league is trending will never be normal again from a player perspective, but in a normal player perspective, just being a high-level defender and an incredible floor spacer scoring threat, that's enough. You don't have to be like this next-level playmaker for your team to succeed. And I do think that a lot of those problems are kind of exacerbated by the supporting cast, even though Randall's been a better playmaker than I expected.
Yeah, I think it'll just come down to more experience, and then he'll just be eating it up because he's just going to see the same types of coverages forever.
Yeah, they're not going to invent a new kind of way to stop Mr. 40-inch vertical.
Although they are now the new meta is going to be changing defenses multiple times in the same possession, and you're going to have to freaking decode it.
Maybe they should do a Yankees bat. There's got to be something we could change in the NBA that's just like, oh, obviously that we should have been doing that, where it's like, hey, maybe make the toes of your shoes taller or something.
A headband, but it's got special holes that you look through for your eyes, and it makes you more accurate.
Oh, okay. Usopp goggles type beat?
Yeah.
All right.
Write it down, everybody.
Write it down.
Also toe shoes.
Well, a lot of people, we've already talked about the zero shoes that are, you're walking
but
on
his
the
toes
ground.
aren't free. His toes aren't free. You got to get the toes out. Also, sports monocle. Look smart, play smart. TM.
TM. Who do you have after Mr. Anthony Edwards?
This is where the anomaly comes in.
Oh, my God. I forgot you didn't even put him on. I should throw something at you. That's crazy. I forgot to timestamp him when I talked about him. What do you have about him?
He's very good.
You're disgusting.
He's like a lesser Cooper Flag. No. He can shoot at high volume as well, off the dribble. He can slash. He could pass. He can guard on the perimeter. He could protect the rim. He does everything at a pretty high level. It's just consistency goes up and down in the playoffs. And I feel the peaks of all those things are not as high as some other guys, but he's very good. He's an anomaly. It's anomalous. The one guy can do all that stuff. But if it's just him going 100% versus some other guys 100%, I'm taking the other guys.
That's fair. That's fair. I love him. I really do like him. And it's annoying because he is lame. He's a nerd. And so for me to embrace him, it's just like, hey, I do like Basketball Reference. I do watch Ben Taylor videos, you know? Like, I am a fucking dork. But
Is there any of the guys I have ahead that you're like, all right, that one's great. Like, no way I'd want. Are you like, I want Tatum 10 times out of 10 over Anthony Edwards?
Not 10 times out of 10. More times out of 10, probably. Just because, I mean, I think, like, that was a really good example. The last postseason run. If the exact same thing happens to Anthony Edwards from a scoring perspective, you are fucked. You're done. Like, never, you're losing in the second round because he doesn't have, like, the playmaking to recreate, like, 40% of that. But you could make the argument to me, hey, that happening to Anthony Edwards as a jump shooter, not going to happen. It shouldn't happen to a top 5 player. The fact that it happened to Tatum, incredibly frustrating. And if it happened again, it would really concern me. But I don't think I'm betting against it for the most part. But like, yeah, the fact that he was like 40% from the field for an entire postseason run that they won the finals, I think that two-sided coin. You know, you don't like that from a guy that you rank super highly, but testament to the other shit that he did, especially the fact that, like, Porzingis goes out and Tatum can just be hey, I protect the rim. We're good. You don't really need somebody back here. I like that a lot. I think it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with anyone arguing Tatum over Edwards or...
This is what I'm saying. We got to get more reactionary. How does Stephen A. do this part of it? Where it's like someone says something and you just conjure up this fire of like, what? Anthony Edwards is really good. So is Tatum.
I saw today on First Take, he's doing I talked to a former Hall of Fame player. They said Steph Curry would average 17 back then because we'd beat him up. I'm like, what year is this, Steven? Come on.
Yeah. That's always been a really interesting conversation. I'll timestamp that. Tatum 2x. All right. So at 12, I had Jalen.
At 11.
Well, I already did my 11. Anthony Edwards is my 11. Who's your 11 then? You catch up to me.
AD is my 11.
Okay. Do you have any other shit you want to say about him?
Nah. I just take Tatum over him because I think it's more viable to win a playoff series with Tatum, I think, as your guy than Anthony Davis, just because he's a ball handler.
And Davis, like, he has a ton of the same consistency issues.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get to drive and kick or anything when the shots aren't falling.
Yeah.
Okay, at 12, I have Jalen Brunson. Who do you have?
Okay, I have Devin Booker. I'm still holding on to Devin Booker.
That's great. That's pretty high for Booker for my tastes.
I just feel like he's had his struggles this year, but I feel like the situation is worse. But he's not like a worse player necessarily.
I feel like it's exposed more than I thought. He's still a really high level playmaker. He literally averaging like 10 assists over the past like 25 games or whatever. I don't know if that part is true, but he's like top.
Yeah, but you said it, so
it's true. So
people
if
are
someone
saying
looks
it.
up,
I heard it on a podcast.
Why do you fucking care, dude? Why are you looking it up? Booker.
I heard it on one of the top 600 Patreon podcasts in the world.
I have him.
You know who we passed? Who? I was looking at Patreon rankings. I think we're one ahead of Michael Cohen.
Wait, who's Michael Cohen again?
The Trump lawyer. The former Trump lawyer.
Shit, we passed
who's
him?
now the anti-Trump guy. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we're pretty much the biggest sports podcast. Zach Lowe and Bill Simmons. Watch out. Watch your
Zach,
fucking back.
Lower than us.
Zach,
Bill, simmer
my nuts on your forehead.
Yeah, and shove them up your butt too.
And your butt too. In Boston.
Not that I'm in
Beantown.
And we're not
Larry
beating each
Bird,
other though.
mustache.
Okay.
like Freddie Mercury.
Oh, I saw a picture of him in bed with like 10 other
Me
men.
too. He was a slut. Nice.
He was a slut. Guys, is it okay that he died? Because he was a slut. Not because he's gay, but because he's
Comment down
a
below.
slut. Not for the sin of gay, but for the sin of lust.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Booker I have a little lower, but Booker, if you told me we get a new situation and like he's back to being, you know, the level of player that he was, I'm fine with it. I do really think he has the capacity to be like one of the best slashers in the league, just like genuine automatic like 27 points, 7 assists, really high level playmaking while being a very dependable scorer with a super high ceiling, like 40 on any given night. And I think we've seen him hit levels defensively that like he's been a very above average defender. And we'll talk about some guys I have ahead of him. He can nuke defensively. There are some guys here that are not that good on that end of the floor, like Jalen Brunson. I just think Brunson, not only did we get the display of like similar level playoff floor raising last year, the Iverson, whatever you want, the 2024 Allen Iverson type shit, but this year we're also getting an extreme level of scalability that I expect to move into the playoffs. He'll still be that level of guy where it's like, hey, you want to move Karl Anthony Towns in here? That's fine. Take the ball out of my hands. That's fine. I can handle it. I'll still be 27 points on really good efficiency while being the lead attack for one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay Brunson, but I just when I do like him compared to Booker, it's like, okay, Booker's bigger, so that's going in his favor. He's a better defender. I think he's a better passer than Brunson still.
I don't know. That's fine. That's fine. It's not indefensible.
Yeah, I think, he makes some really impressive reads. And then he's also like, I don't know what percentage-wise. Maybe I should pull it up. Well, I don't know. It might make me lag. But Devin Booker is an incredible mid-range shooter also. And he also has like that strength-based thing that Jalen Brunson has going on.
I like the shooting from Brunson, I think, is much more. It's become more dependable. The last
the
like
three-point shooting?
Yeah,
or
year and a
shooting?
half that we've seen from Brunson as a three-point shooter, I think it moves me more than pretty much any stretch we've ever gotten from Booker, who even though...
Oh, really? What about the finals run? He was going crazy.
Well, I mean, I guess, but like I'm talking like regular season to me, Booker has always like... It's like, holy shit, he could really shoot the basketball. And then you go look, and it's like, hey, 36% from
Oh, you're
three.
talking specifically about three-point shooting.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
mid-range, I think Booker... like serious argument for best in the league when he's on, but specifically 3-point shooting and the way that affects the floor. The last year and a half we've gotten from Brunson, I am moved more by than any stretch we've had in Booker's career.
Yeah, for 3-point shooting wise, that's fair. And like there's a whole host of things. Like I don't know what the highest offense Devin Booker has ever single-handedly led.
It would be really well. Like if we're counting those 65 win Suns teams or whatever,
were they at the top offensively? And it was a Chris Paul team versus Brunson, who's like they're like, are they still top 3 offense this year? I haven't checked the ratings.
Here, I'll pull it up. Let me see.
But for most of the season, like the Knicks have been an elite offense, and it's like the best playing basketball is a Karl Towns Brunson pick and roll. The second best play is a Bridges pick and roll. Blah,
so
blah, blah,
the Knicks are
like
5th in offensive rating right now, which is that they've fallen a ways. But let me see. The year the Suns won 64 games, they were the 4th best offense and the 3rd best defense. I swear they were 1st at one point though. Let me see this shit.
Some I feel like some sites have them different.
I'm on Basketball Reference for that. The Basketball Reference versus the NBA.com, it is like slightly different. Yeah, they peaked at 4th offensively with that lineup. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's like a huge gap between them. I just think I like Brunson both as a floor and a ceiling raiser more. And even though Booker can be better defensively, I don't think like the best we've seen Booker on defense really closes the gap. Where it's like, hey, the best Booker has been on defense. It's like, hey, pesky guy to have switched on to you. Not like giving up buckets or anything.
Yeah.
But it's also not like, hey, go at Luka and like you're the guy we're throwing at him or anything, or really even close to that.
Yeah, I think for me the only real argument for Brunson over him is just the engine factor, and that's fine. But I just think if put in that position, Booker could probably do it, just because I think the overall skill set is there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Suns do suck. I really hope they blow it up, because I'm so sick of watching Durant and Booker play in this fucking system, man.
And Booker did tear up one of the best defenses of all time last year in the playoffs a little bit.
You'd think they win at that point.
Well, so actually last year they swept them, or they won the last 3 games in the regular season.
And then what happened? Do you know? Who cares?
A lot of politics.
Yeah. We got the higher ups stepped in.
Did you see the ref pretend to forget Dylan Brooks' name?
No, I didn't. That's hilarious.
It was funny. He was, how they do it into the camera?
Oh, yeah. Bill Kennedy, I think, he's always very sassy about stuff.
Yeah, he did. He was like, and a foul on Brooks. It was really good.
That's funny. What killed me last night, the ending of Nuggets Wolves, obviously, where Westbrook fouls a 3-point shooter to lose the game. Clear foul. It was absolutely a foul. And like hand on Nickeil Alexander-Walker's stomach as he's shooting. And Westbrook was under the basket looking at the ref just being like, that's terrible, man. How could you call that? What's wrong with you? And I'm just like, dude, you can't expect them to not call that. Like you hit the guy. That fucking killed me, man.
There's a video I've seen on TikTok where it's like the guy who says the teacher's targeting him, and it's John Morant chucking the ball into the stands and then getting a tech and him, what?
I didn't do anything. What are you talking about? I didn't even say anything. Okay. We have 2. I copied 2 for Brunson. Should I do? How would the Knicks and the Cavs fare if Brunson and Donovan Mitchell switch teams? Tony, ball knower, says this.
I feel like they'd be pretty similar.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, is everybody worse? Slightly. I feel like probably. I feel like the whole Knicks system is beneficial. They benefit from the slower play style in the half court of Brunson, where it's like methodically operating in the mid-range a little bit. I don't know if, I guess they do have pretty good like ball movement and everything. I don't love OG Anunoby being put in position to like make the extra pass all the time, though. That would be kind of frustrating. I think I would say both teams are probably slightly worse, but it looks about the same. What about you?
Yeah, I think they're both similar.
Okay. Who do you have at 13?
Donovan Mitchell.
Nice. I have Evan Mobley.
Oh, I'd say he was tough for me.
This is difficult. And this was probably, I tried to avoid making woke takes on here, being like, actually, if you think about how they operate and everything.
He's the best player on the team.
Yeah. This is probably the closest I get to one of those, I would say, from my perspective at least. I do love
the
Evan
Jedi are evil.
I love Evan Mobley, dude. He's so good. And I think he would massively benefit if we're adopting the angle of, well, if you put Devin Booker or Kevin Durant or whoever in the situation where they would best succeed, Evan Mobley benefits a lot from those ideas. Because if you look at him in a situation where you just exchange Jared Allen for equivalent talent of like perimeter guys, 3-point shooters or whatever.
Or let's do it a different way. What would be the most interesting team to swap Evan Mobley onto?
The Thunder would be insane.
For him and Chet, that would be crazy. Is there what's a big man led team out there? Well, I suppose if he's on Houston, then they're probably a similar level of team, and then it's like he's the best player on a 2 seed.
Yeah, I really don't think Houston loses that much of a step. Şengün's obviously the better passer. I don't think Mobley is a bad one by any means, and I think he could operate really effectively as like a passing hub. I think he's been incredible as like an isolation scorer, big man, and then he's one of the best defenders in the league. Really, how do you feel about Draymond Green taking over DPOY running over the past month or so?
Is he number 1 in the betting?
In the odds, I think he is now.
I don't feel bad about him.
It's fine. He deserves more than one.
Well, he is a bad guy in real life, so I do think he deserves punishment for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe he'll lose.
I don't want the satisfaction of the award.
I think the way his brain works is pretty punishing. He's like a psychopath.
I would love for him to be aware of that. I don't know and feel guilt for that, I don't know if he does.
Can we lock this guy in a room full of mirrors for 1,000 years, please?
Oh, and they're one-way mirrors.
Yes.
So we get to see inside what's happening.
Hey, chat,
but is there enough
could we
light?
live stream Draymond Green being shown an image of his own soul over and over again for a millennium? Could be cool.
Oh, okay. Guys, put him on the last Snowpiercer train car.
Yeah, guys. Let's get Draymond Green on like a Jacob's Ladder situation. Can we get something like that? Yeah.
Bro, my phone is blowing up. I'm sorry.
So popular.
Yeah.
Trump announced plans for a 10% tariff on all imports into the U.S., as well as higher rates for goods from Europe and China. More like chump. Am I right?
my friend texted me. This was a guy's definition of a carry at the gym. Any dribble that goes above the shoulder is a carry.
I don't like it when people dribble that high.
That's pretty high.
Shoulder is crazy, actually. Above the waist is not ideal.
He said, even if my hand is on top of it, it's pretty. Well, I'm thinking now, what if you're bent over?
Oh, okay.
But even that's kind of, I don't know.
If you're bent over, I mean, I'm operating off of like a standard standing up. So if you're bouncing this bitch 5.5 feet in the air, I don't like it. It's annoying. Well,
actually, like, does Allen Iverson go above his shoulder on his like
probably?
Crossover?
Yeah.
That's not a carry. Well, I on those by 1980s rules.
Right, well, I mean, by now, John Morant is his hand is under the ball every time.
I need to, yeah. You know what? I feel like I have bad handles, but maybe I should just start cheating more. Like,
absolutely, you should.
Because I don't do as much as just the like carrying stuff, so I should.
Yeah, no, like
there's no refs.
If you can like work it into your game where you take like one subtle extra step. Or, do like a little carry. Eventually, no one will call it. Like, you just have to put them in position to say carry every single time. Nobody wants to do that at the park. So, eventually, you could just get away with it.
Yeah. But I'm actually I'm a zero waste player, so I actually don't really dribble that much when I play.
Nice. Yeah. Sam Merrill, archetype.
Yeah. And I'm Mormon when I play.
Ooh, all right.
The way I got all these hoes out of that game. That was a good one. That was cool. Guys, right. Comment down below if that was cool.
The way I love my babysitter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yo, look.
Sorry, Mr. Kyle.
Guys, throw Kyle Filipowski's wife in jail. Put him on a mission, and let's get Bryce some more shots.
Guys. What do we want to do to Joseph Smith in the afterlife? What are we thinking?
Oh, let's resurrect him and teach him heliocentrism.
Okay, I'm down. Let's resurrect him.
It was probably around by the time he was around, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think he was really focused on space. I think he was focused on little girls.
Yeah, he was probably like, Oh, God just called 6 wives now, baby.
Let's resurrect Joseph Smith and have the #1 nationally ranked 12-year-old female UFC fighter kill him.
Okay, I'm down for that. So at Mobley, we did have one. Vivek said, Mobley, how close is he to top 10, and what do you need to see from him to get there? I think. What do you think with Mobley? Is this more of a case of like we need to see the production either like rise in the playoffs or maybe in the absence of a Jared Allen? If shit goes crazy this postseason and we are shaken up heading into next year, I think, yeah, more production or playoff riser moment would be cool.
Yeah, higher offensive production, and could that be accomplished solely through a context shift, or does he have to get better? I can't tell you for sure, but yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how a Mobley led team would be. It probably still is rough offensively, and I think he's probably still too slanted for in defensive value than offensive value, because I have a similar guy to him ahead of him that we'll talk about.
Oh, okay,
later.
all right. Okay, so I have Mitchell right. I have the next, so we could do Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, same time stamp. Do you want to make the case for Mr. Mitchell?
For a second.
Hello.
Are we back? Are we back?
I don't know.
Okay,
Talk about Donovan Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell, underrated offensive engine. Kind of been like a really high floor raising type of guy for many years now. He's like Anthony Edwards in a sense. He's crazy pull up 3-point shooter and unlimited pew to get to the rim and dunks on people. He's just a little smaller, so he's worse. And then defensively comes and goes. But I think people like his defense more these days. And in the playoffs, I'm still a little weary. I'm still a little game to game. I'm like, I don't know for sure if he's going to show up. But last year was pretty good. And so yeah, out of all the small guards, or out of all the like majorly offensive slanted guards that are tiny, I think I have him #1. Yeah, he's my first time. Well, actually, not over Steph. But
Steph doesn't count.
I have him over Brunson and
Steph plays in a mech,
Halliburton.
so he's like immune to those things.
Yeah. Steph is different.
He has Draymond. Draymond is his stand. In JoJo Bizarre Adventure, they have these powers called stands. You can attack and defend with them, and it's like a corporeal being outside of yourself. And so Draymond, whenever Steph's in trouble, he's like, Draymond Green, and then Draymond fucking kills whoever's in front of him. So
Nice.
Yeah. Donovan Mitchell doesn't have that, and so he's just a small guy.
Well, he used to have Rudy Gobert, but he's like,
He hated
annoying.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sick of it. He's crying about the All-Star game. I can't with this motherfucker. After Donovan Mitchell, I have at 14. What number are you on?
Yeah, 14.
Oh, I have a foot cramp. I'm dying. Oh my God. Who do you have at 15?
This is where I took a leap of faith.
Who do you got?
And Brunson people will be upset. But I think if you argue Brunson over this guy, it's fine. It's fine.
Is he skinny?
No.
Oh, I thought you were going to... All right, whatever. What do you got?
No, he's real thick.
Oh, big gumbo.
Zion Williamson. He's all-time great. And honestly, I would be willing to argue him over Mitchell. Like if you gave me the chance to pick, I'd probably pick him over Mitchell, but he is it's just the track record with Mitchell so strong.
Yes.
But yeah, Zion, he's just huge. Unstoppable rim attacking force. Sucks up everybody on the court. He's sucking all 5 defenders simultaneously to wherever he is.
He's
just so much defensive attention. He's gotten a little better defensively. He's in better shape, and I would want to put him higher, but alas.
No, yes. I mean, I'm on board with whatever you want to do to Zion Williamson. Pour honey on him, put him at fucking 5. I don't know, put him on a trampoline and break the speed of sound. Anything's possible.
Zion and Tatum fall off the cruise ship. You have one buoy.
I'll throw it to Tatum, but
okay. Well, wait, is it because you like him or because it'd be easier to lift?
Easier to lift. Zion,
Okay.
He's so dense. Well, actually Zion. Hippos. They're all muscle. And so I think that allows them to float easier, or does that make them sink?
No, muscle makes you sink. And I think hippos are like jumping. They're like jumping off the ground.
It sucks that hippos are so deadly because they're fun. They're a fun animal.
Yeah. He's very hippo-ish.
Yes. But like in an aware sense, where we know how powerful a hippo is. Most people, oh, you're a hippo. You're just some big cow type, but no, hippos. That's a good animal.
I think people have caught up on hippos because and where they feed them the watermelon and they say
yes,
"Hi, agimasu," and
yeah,
oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Okay, so Zion at 15, I'm not mad at that. I had Booker at 15, and so yeah, I mean we already talked about him. I want him to be back because he's definitely someone where it's like when you get Booker on like a 50-win team in the playoffs going up against the other best players in the league, I feel like Booker is one of the most entertaining players in those situations, and we've just kind of been deprived of it over the past couple. I mean, I guess he did well against the Wolves, but like if you think back to the Nuggets Suns series from 23,
that was nasty too.
That was a great series because
It's been a long time since he disappointed.
Yeah, no. That's fair. But yeah, Booker at 15. Oh, that's tough. Now that I'm talking through it, him versus Donovan Mitchell. I'll leave Donovan Mitchell there because the Cavs have been so good and everything. But like, would Booker be that much worse in Mitchell's place? Probably not. Would Donovan Mitchell have the Suns in a better spot? Probably not. So yeah, I won't change it, but. I get
how fast is my head shaking on your screen? Is it blurry?
Well, you're moving so fast, you're not moving at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Guys, comment down below how cool that looked.
Guys, comment down below on a scale of 1 to 10. Anything below 5, I'm off myself and you're in the know.
Okay. So I said Booker. Let me see. My timestamps are completely fucked. Who do you have at 16? I'm curious.
Well, 15. I said it. 15 is Brunson. 16 is Halliburton. Interchangeable for me.
Okay, I have Halliburton 16 as well. I love Tyrese Halliburton. Project 94. Everybody, after this is done, go click on Project 94. We just did a whole Tyrese Halliburton is so good now. He's good again video, talking about how everyone hates him, even though he's good. And yeah, I think all of that stands. We got one. Zebra Edwin says, assuming Hallie is on the list, how much higher would he have been if he did not have a doggy doo-doo start to the season? Do you believe Halliburton could make All-NBA third team? What do you think?
Overall, he's probably still at a similar place on my list, just because the type of player he is. Unless he was putting up Steph type numbers with the gravity, but I don't think he would do that. Third team, has he played enough games?
I think so. I think he'll hit the requirement. Let me see.
I don't know. I'm a bad guy to ask. I don't really have I don't think about it enough, so I don't have good context.
I want him to make it. I'll say that much.
Who he's fighting against.
Yeah, he's at 68 games already. Yeah, I have him here. Really, the slow start, I didn't contextualize. I don't like judging players at the lows. I just don't think it's very productive.
Depends who. Because this guy Well, I love judging. Yeah, I
love
judging
the
Pablo
realest
at
players.
the lows.
He's never been good.
Josh Giddey
Barnes
at the lows, and that's like judging the earth based off water rather than the land.
What do you mean?
It's mostly water, right?
Oh, yeah, it is, yes. I'm glad we can agree on that. I don't know what you fucking geocentrists think about the composition of the Earth.
Well, it's
Are the,
mostly water
how
before you
deep
get
are
to
the
the ice
oceans?
wall. Maybe do they go down to hell? I don't know.
I don't know. You figure it would boil.
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know how does boiling. Do they know about boiling?
Well, in hell, I assume if hell's hot, okay. Everybody call up who fuck. Who's that guy that Adam Silver loved? The greatest diplomat of all time. I can't remember his name.
Kissinger.
Yeah, everybody call up Henry Kissinger. See if they know about boiling in hell. Halliburton. I would entertain like next season if we don't get another one of the injury type things and we get a cool postseason out of him and we're just like consistently playing 20 points, 10 assists, 65% true shooting basketball, I would entertain him above Booker or Mitchell or whoever. Really, Brunson too. Like I love Tyrese Halliburton's game.
He really is like the path forward is like bootleg Steph, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's good.
Third team. Yeah, I think he will make it. Booker's not going to make it. It's positionless now, but so yeah, if Booker doesn't make it and pretty much everyone else that we've talked about makes it, Kevin Durant probably won't make it. Anthony Davis probably won't make it. Luka won't make it.
Wemby won't, right?
Yeah, Wemby won't. He'll definitely make it. Now that I'm talking through all this, I would say second team is the question now that we have all of these injuries and everything. Which that's an uphill battle. But third team, I would be really surprised if he didn't make it.
Yeah, he probably will.
17. Cade Cunningham.
I went Ja. I'm holding out hope.
You went John Morant at 17?
I'm holding out hope.
Stay on that side. Hey, he was talking to me. When he stay on that side. Y'all switched up. Stay over on that side. That's fair, John Morant. I don't mean to laugh at his prospects. And I'm definitely not out on the Ja experience, but I certainly don't think he's been the best player. So this is just all fake. This whole season. You're not really looking at it.
Injury ridden. Yeah, fake.
Okay. Damn. I guess that works with the rest of your. Is Kawhi not here?
Well, let me check. If he is, he'll be near the end, and it's just because if he hadn't come back yet, I would be like Kawhi once he's here. But now that we've seen enough of him, I'm like, ooh, we've had some rough Kawhi, but he's been putting it together.
We've had rough Ja, and he's here.
Yeah, but his issues aren't like bad knee. Like his knee he's got
These are
fungus
just mystery.
knee.
It's like he's rolling the dice every morning.
Ja is like it's like Rubik's cube shoulder, and it's like well he's probably gonna solve it.
I've seen someone solve a Rubik's cube.
Yeah,
before, so easily.
Yeah, but Kawhi, it's like he's got the Last of Us cerebro or whatever they're called in his knee.
Yeah, I think Ja. I mean, the issues with Ja this season pretty self-explanatory. And while I've said I don't like judging players at their lows, the lows have been a lot for Ja to the extent where it's just starting to seep into the reality of him. If I have to look back 2 years, then I'm going to contextualize that. And you kind of do have to look back 2 years with Ja. Even though lately, he's been playing pretty solid, pretty well. The Grizzlies in that time haven't really looked that good, and they're in a lot of turmoil and everything. Cade, yeah, I mean, I love Cade Cunningham. I've been pretty vocal about that on here, I feel like. I think even if we don't get the level of rise from Cade Cunningham that we have seen Ja have in a postseason setting, which I don't think that's a lock. I think Cade could definitely be a playoff riser. Even if we don't get that, I am comfortable having Cade over him just based on like the overall case he made this regular season. I feel like this. What's Ja's best regular season look like? Let's pull this up.
I am worried. The playoffs will be a big deciding factor for me. I'm worried about Cade in the playoffs.
Why are you worried?
Because the turnovers, obviously, and then the just
Ja averages a lot of turnovers.
yeah, but his are cool turnovers. He's a higher tier passer to me.
But that's fair. Yeah.
And what's it called? It's just the ability to get to the rim. That like Ja, we've seen like with broken hand, he could get to the rim.
I really don't differentiate that. That to me, so like, if I can get Cade within 4 feet of the basket and he is as efficient as like a pretty solid rim finisher, but it doesn't technically count as rim finishing because it's like this weird short mid-range shit.
But I don't think he's at like 60% there.
I mean, he's not, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tweaking. I like that. I mean, the fact that like Ja is so built around that, and then you get into him being a more fragile player. So it's like, hey, I have this guy. He's made out of not glass, but like ceramics. Definitely, he's made in a kiln, and he can run 1,000 miles an hour and jump 100 feet in the air.
He's a glass cannon.
It's a cool guy. That is a cool guy, but like, I'm worried about the fact that like he has to play that way for him to really, really dominate, especially with how the jumper has looked recently. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Ja being here for you, you are a loyal fella. Jeez.
He's just I love that combo, and yeah, I'm just worried the offense could really fall off with Cade, and then it's just his defense is way better than
still
Ja.
a good defender. He's still a good defender. I don't think. Damn. I really like his scoring bag. Maybe the Pistons are, like, if you just completely fucking sell out on him, the Pistons aren't a good enough supporting cast to really punish teams when they do that. But I think if you put Ja in a similar, like, yeah, 2-3 years ago, we were seeing Ja jump 10 feet in the air and finish around 3 guys or whatever, but is that guy still in there? I guess we'll find out.
Find out next week.
Find out after, what number are we on now? Who's next after Ja for you?
Then Jaren.
Oh, okay. I have Jaren a little lower. Let me see. After Cade, I have Karl Anthony Towns. So make the Jaren case.
One of the best defenders in the league, and has taken major strides offensively. It's fair to have him above Ja, and it's fair to have him above a lot of these guys, honestly. Just major guy who can protect the rim at a high level, switch at a high level, make threes, and create for himself. And he's getting better at passing.
Okay, one. Oh, I can edit this one, by the way.
No poop check number 2?
Now we're doing it on Friday before State of the League. I'm double recording on a Friday. So you better be ready to carry the episode.
I gotta write down some.
Guys, ask the dumbest question you can think of. Lobbyists, please. Fuck, what was I gonna say? What's Jaren Jackson been at over the last like 20 games? Because I know the Grizzlies really have not had that strong of a month and a half or whatever. So he missed 5 straight, and then since then he's averaged 21 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds on 47% from the field, 44% from 3, 85% from the line. I do really like Jaren Jackson Jr. I am a little bit nervous about some of his playoff weaknesses in terms of, I guess if I'm arguing against Karl Anthony Towns, the foul conversation really isn't that much better.
I'm worried this guy might lose his mind a little bit in the playoffs.
The rebounding, that's something where Cat clearly is separate tier of player. Jaren Jackson Jr.'s rebounding is frustrating to me in a way that, like, I don't have a ton of faith in the Grizzlies to, like, supplementary make that up. Even though they probably, I'm saying this out loud, they've probably fucking been, like, a top 5 rebounding team because they're gang rebounding, and I'm just being an idiot. But Yeah. The fouling I do get nervous about, and the rebounding I do get nervous about, and then I don't know. Jaren Jackson, if you wanted to have him above Cat, I really wouldn't. Like that's not insane to me at all. And I also think clear best this year, clear best player on the Grizzlies. Like him, he's been in a different tier than Ja Morant. That's an All NBA guy. I think Jaren Jackson will make it.
Yeah, he's great.
Cat, I mean, pretty self-explanatory. I don't know.
And he's kind of like Evan Mobley, and like we do recognize him that he's been the clear-cut best player on a top of the Western Conference team this year, but we still have him this low.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like they are winning like through a group effort. That's just been what they've been doing. Like he has provided the baseline for them to be in position for their group effort to matter and make the difference, but he hasn't been like single-handedly willing them to wins all year long, even though he has had a lot of memorable fourth quarters as well. I don't want to act like he isn't responsible for a lot of their wins. It's just
it does feel like that. It feels like a very team-oriented team, but he's like the leading scorer by a lot, right? Or no?
By a fair amount. Let me.
And then he's the defensive anchor too. So maybe we have
Okay,
lost
no,
our
Ja
mind.
is actually the leading scorer still.
Oh, okay.
Points per game. Obviously, Jaren has played. What is
Ja at? Is he at like 27?
No, he's at 22.7. Jaren is at 22.4.
Oh, why did I think Jaren was averaging 26?
I don't know. That's wrong. Does that change your opinion at all?
It makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do think I just switched verses, and I did come from a verse where he was averaging 26.
What is that called when you can shift? Yeah, we've been shifting a lot lately.
Oh
so.
yeah, I probably shifted.
Yeah. Fuck. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. I don't know. Jaren Jackson, the leading scorer, best defender on what was a high-level, high-seed team for a lot of the season. It's not nothing, but I also just think, like when we talk about the Evan Mobley case, I think Mobley has kind of blended two things where he has taken this huge step forward as like an on-ball player, and that has allowed him and Jaren Jackson Jr. to coexist. Not to even mention like the jump shooting leap or whatever.
Wait, him and Jared Allen?
Him and Jared Allen. Yeah, I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, you get that from Mobley. You go.
If they swapped,
Grizzlies are better, I think.
Really?
Well, the Cavs are still the better team. Sorry, I shouldn't say that because
but I think the Cavs are better than they are, and I think the Grizzlies are worse than they are.
I don't think so. So then why do you have Jaren Jackson above Mobley then?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Guys, comment down below.
I think if you want to talk about the fouling thing in this specific context, it matters a lot. You lose a ton of defensive value when you get into that much foul trouble. And so when you're talking about that versus Karl Anthony Towns, who's not a strong defender anyways, kind of a wash of a point or whatever. But when you're talking about Mobley, who if I'm the Grizzlies and it's like fuck, Jaren has 4, he can't play the final 4 minutes of the third quarter or whatever. Like we got to fucking bench him so that he doesn't pick up a quick fifth. And Mobley is regularly not in those situations. A, that adds up over the course of the season. B, that's like a scenario that will come up in the playoffs, I would assume. If it never happens to the Grizzlies, that would surprise me.
Yeah, for me, they're same tier defender, and then I just trust Jaren's scoring game more than Mobley.
I don't know. I really like Mobley as like if you just spam pick and rolls with Mobley or post ups for Mobley. Like if they get into a situation where the Celtics they're doing the shit with Jared Allen and they make the Cavs bench Jared Allen, I would expect Mobley to really pop offensively in those minutes.
Who
do you have next?
Jaren was my 18. Who was your 18?
My 18. It was Karl Anthony Towns, who we really didn't even talk about that much. But Henry Cates says, Curious to know if you have Cat top 20. As a Knicks fan, I can see he clearly has the talent to be top 20, but I feel that a mix of his own errors, parentheses, stupid offensive fouls, bad rim protection instincts, and a lack of specialized coaching, parentheses, very few plays to get him open looks from three, lack of pick and roll diversity, is not maximizing him. Ooh, I had to burp, sorry. I don't know. I have him top 20. Yeah, I think he's here pretty comfortably. But there's like, if I made top 30, we would be arguing. Like 25 through 18 would be pretty arguable, I think.
Yeah, I don't have him top 20, but it's because of the playoff reliability. Because I'm worried.
Hey, his highs though, his ceiling,
They're pretty high.
ooh, they're pretty high. They're pretty high. He should be thanking God that Joel Embiid has turned into sand. Because, like, if they got the Sixers first round with, like, 60% of Embiid, that is the nightmare matchup for Towns, I feel like. That's terrible.
Yeah, he's playing 10 minutes the whole series.
Yeah. And Tibbs is, like, he's going bolder than he already is on the sideline. Like, he's hitting a bald singularity. And his head is just like a super shiny mirror at that. It starts emitting light like a lamp.
Oh.
Who do you have at, what is this, 19? Who do you have at 19?
This is where Jimothy Butler comes in.
Okay.
I'd have him higher if
Well,
last
this
year
is
didn't
my
happen.
thing. If the regular season, if it's just who would you rather have? Why
Honestly,
not have him higher?
He could be higher than this too for me. he's just so good. He's one of the smarter defenders in the league. He's great. He doesn't shoot threes in the regular season, but he decides to shoot them in the playoffs, and he sometimes can do that. Great mid-range shot creator, great at getting to the rim, great at getting to the line, and just smart guy.
Yeah. Okay, so at 19, I have Jaren Jackson Jr. At 20, I have Jimmy Butler. That rounds out my top 20. So for Jaren Jackson, there's one I forgot to read. There's a request. Holy shit. Cunt Warlord says, on the season, he's averaging 23, 6, and 2 with 3 stocks on 50, 40, 78 shooting splits with 5 free throw attempts, 60% true shooting. He's an elite switch defender, elite rim protector, high-level mismatch punisher, and at a career-best self-creation. This as a primary offensive option for a top 5 Western Conference playoff team for large portions of the season. This is Jaren Jackson Jr. He leads the league in non-restricted area paint field goal made on 265 of 509 attempts, floater/hook god in parentheses.
Oh.
Has the 4th best defensive field goal percentage at the rim in the league, top 3 two-way player in the league. With little postseason basketball to look forward to, agendas are all I have left. Take this last thing away from me at your own peril. I don't think any of that's insane. Top 3 two-way players tough.
Well, who is it?
WEMBY, clear one. I guess the conversation for 2 and 3 is there. He's right there with Mobley and Chet
AD.
for me. Oh, AD too. Yeah, I forgot about him. I think that's probably the conversation, is like those 4 guys for those 2 spots.
For me, honestly, I could go. I really could be convinced into going as high as 12 for him above Booker. I really do think he's so good, but also just it's all ranges.
I'm scared. Do you think if he gets like a Zubats match, that's one where I could see him, like the physicality fucking him up a little bit? What do you think?
I don't know, cause he's strong. Do you think like Mobley is like way better suited to handle like a bruising Zubats?
I don't know about better suited. I think he would fare better on the boards, which I am concerned about. And then I don't know. I think being the same level of like slenderness, which Mobley's pretty strong now, but like so is Jaren Jackson Jr. Being that same level of strength with Mobley being like a legit 7 foot tall. I think
you think I think Jaren is stronger. I think he's got more beef and more oomph, more gusto.
Yes, I don't think for me. It's not enough to make up for the fact that Mobley is that much taller. But whatever.
I think it should. Yeah, he is longer. I think for me the strength difference shows up on offense more so, because when Mobley's drive, it's like, look at me. I'm like.
I think Mobley's done a really good job of taking the slight added strength and using now he is able to capitalize on the angles that his length provides. Whereas Jaren's the bump into the hook or whatever, it's sick, but Mobley has plenty of moments where one dribble he bumps a guy pretty close to the hoop and he can step through for a crazy reverse layup that nobody can even contest.
Well, I could contest it on the right day. Just
Aren't you
if I'm in the
5'8"?
right, if I'm in the right spot. Yeah, but 5'9" with shoes.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I mean, shit. Yeah.
5'9" .5" wingspan.
Oh, okay. Plus wingspan.
Plus.
Desmond Bain can't say that.
He can't say that. He's a fraud. So is Tyler Hero.
And then for Jimmy, should I read NyQuil Jordan's or Fractiasis Jimmy Butler's lobbyist request?
Oh, shoot. Well, if we could only read one, do the Jimmy Butler one. But actually read both.
Oh, shit. We lagging?
Oh, shoot. We lagged.
Fuck.
Okay, we're back. We're back. So Fractiasis Jimmy Butler says, if the Warriors go on a deep playoff run on the back of another Jimmy Butler rise and play, where does this put Jimmy on the list of all-time weirdest resumes to explain? Solid regular season player, but when the playoffs come, he routinely makes a serious jump. I don't know. I think he is at least easier to explain than some guys, where they're all intangibles all the time. With Jimmy, you can at least pull up the postseason stats and be like, okay, in the regular season he was 18, and then in the postseason he was 30 points per game, and so that's why he was good. Yeah, I don't know if he probably is this the previous guy that was Reggie, but I don't even know if people appreciated Reggie for that. But and I don't know if he was that much of a riser. I don't know who the biggest playoff risers are.
A lot of people glaze Reggie as playoff. I think he genuinely is one of the bigger postseason risers.
He is, but I feel like if you talk to 90s basketball fans, they're like, he was pretty good. He was a good shooter. No Jordan though.
No Clyde Drexler, something like that.
They don't appreciate him as a funky Steph type engine.
Mm-hmm.
And he was getting to the line. What a crazy guy. But yeah, Jimmy, I'll tell you what, if it happens again, I'm going ahead of Tatum.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Hey, give Tatum Steph. Let's see what's what.
Oh, I'll do it. All right. What's the movie where Kate Winslet and is it Cameron Diaz? They trade a holiday. It's a holiday movie, and they trade their New York or L.A. apartment for a London apartment.
I don't know that one.
Well, do that with
across the pond. Maybe that's what it's
called. It's what if I was dating Jack Black in L.A.
The holiday. Is that what you're talking about?
I think so.
Is Jack Black a clean cut, put together guy in this movie?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
I've seen a poster for it, and it's what is? That's not what Jack Black does. That's weird.
But Jimmy's legacy. It probably will never live up to. It'll be a God. If you were only there.
I'll be speaking over campfires, being dude. He pulled up for 3 with the game on the line, even though they were only down 2, and nobody cared. They were on the biggest heater of all time. They knew if it went to overtime, they weren't going to win. So he pulled up, and nobody cared because he took the shot, baby.
It's about the climb.
Hey, all right. Who do you have at 20 then? I'm curious.
What did the other guy say about Jimmy? NyQuil Jordan.
NyQuil Jordan says Jimmy Butler and his crybaby ass is actually hooping for GSW and should make it towards the bottom of your list. He did. He was my 20th guy.
Yeah, I love that he hates him. He's like, I hate this guy.
Motherfucker. He's
but
good.
He better be in there. 20. This is where people will get upset at me again. This is where I have Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, I mean, I'm not that mad at you for if you're gonna rank him at all. To be honest, this feels like half-assing it. I'm not gonna lie, where it's like, hey, if you're gonna rank him. Don't just throw him here at the end.
Yeah, I guess the last time we saw, well, no, yeah, because he's degenerative. Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough because he's still up and down right now. But I'll keep him here. I'll keep him here. But he could scale. He could scale high. He could scale above Edwards if all things go right. And above Wemby. Honestly, he could be right behind KD. But yeah, it's just a guy we know is an all-time great player, and you got to know how much of a shell of himself.
Got to know when to hold him. Know when to
don't fold him, Kawhi.
Don't fold him, Kawhi. You can't fold. You need to stay standing straight up at all times.
To get in a vat of jelly, of
nice.
non-Newtonian fluid.
Do you have any honorable mentions you wanted to shout out?
I have guys that I was considering. So Mobley was right behind.
Mobley didn't make your 20 at all. Okay.
No, but it's fine. He could be as
all right.
It's all a range.
No Zion, no Kawhi for me, so it was easy.
Yeah.
But he would have made mine anyways, I think.
Chet was in consideration. Cade is in consideration. Kyrie, Jaylen Brown, Jalen Williams, and Cat.
I had Damian Lillard. I shouted out. Darius Garland, and then Chet and Jalen Williams. I was both thinking about.
And so, full disclosure, guys, this video is sponsored by Nike, so we were not able to include Jaylen Brown. Even though we really tried.
We tried, and the Oregon Duck came to our offices, and it quacked us into like a coma. It was pretty. He put like a contract we had signed on the table, and he said, "Quack quack," and I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?" But then he pulled out a gun, and I was like, "Oh, okay."
He killed a woman and child in front of me. I think they're real.
I think. But with Nike, I can never tell. Because it's like, when they rolled out those energy gels that you chew a while ago.
Oh, nice.
I was at the release party for those. They gave out like a poison pack. Like one poison pack. And we got to see somebody like die. It was crazy.
Wait, they died?
Yeah.
At
the Nike.
I was gonna say, it's like the golden ticket, Willy Wonka. Whoever gets it gets to sue, but
yeah.
Not if you
No,
die.
they just killed somebody, and I don't even get
why. Did they
why.
get in trouble?
No, of course not.
Wait, I don't get why they killed that guy.
No, yeah, I just went to the thing, and
what is the event? Are you like in the bleachers watching people try?
No, it was like a release party thing. They just handed out these energy chews for everybody, and then this one guy just fucking dropped over. And again, the Oregon Duck comes out. It's like quack, 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 and there was a translator there this time. And the guy said, "Never forget what you saw today," and that was it. And so,
well, could it have been vaccine?
I mean, I have no idea about like the status or anything.
It was probably vaccine.
Okay.
That's what got him. Write it down, guys.
That is every time. I mean, it's Twitter, so everything's terrible now. But on Twitter, you'll see sometimes where it's like, I don't know.
Val Kilmer vaccine. Are they saying
Kilmer,
it?
He got it. Well, it's like guy gets into a car crash. Vax? Wow. Okay. Well, you pass out if you're behind the wheel. You get vax. Anything's possible.
It's all vax. John Stockton. TM.
John Stockton. All right. Hey.
And Bryce Sensabaugh was an honorable mention. So
Who's
this guy
that?
down in Utah, he's an elite 3-point shooter. He's one of the best mid-range shooting prospects in the history of basketball. But he's being suppressed by Will Fraudy, the basketball terrorist.
Bryce senses balls. David Robinson. Take it away.
Up tempo means I'm gonna run you into the ground.